Hello, am I audible? Hello, hello, am I audible? Am I audible? Can anybody confirm this, please?
Yeah, Mr. Anup, your voice is clearly audible.
Thank you so much. So, should I start or should I wait for 5 minutes?
No, no, the session will start at 12:15. So we'll start at 12:15.
Sure, sure.
हर इमारत, हर घर एक ही चीज पर टिकी होती है, मजबूती। और मजबूती संयोग से नहीं बनती, मजबूती सोच से बनती है। सोच जिससे देश आगे बढ़ता है, सोच जिस पर मजबूत भविष्य खड़ा होता है। हम हैं बालाजी ग्रुप, कंक्रीट टीएमटी एंड स्ट्रक्चर्स। 1988 से बालाजी ग्रुप और कंक्रीट टीएमटी एंड स्ट्रक्चर्स ने स्टील निर्माण के क्षेत्र में लीडर के रूप में अपनी पहचान बनाई है। आप उस विश्वास की पहचान है जिस पर एक्सपर्ट्स भरोसा करते हैं, क्योंकि हम गुणवत्ता में बिना किसी समझौते के काम करते हैं, चाहे रॉ मटेरियल हो या फाइनल प्रोडक्ट। हर स्टेज में इन्हें जांचा और परखा जाता है, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि मजबूती से समझौता नहीं किया जा सकता। इसलिए हर बैच की कड़ी टेस्ट होती है। हमारी टीम हर प्रोसेस पर रियल टाइम नजर रखती है। हमारा टीएमटी एंड स्ट्रक्चर प्लांट आईएसओ और बीआईएस द्वारा मान्यता प्राप्त है। अत्याधुनिक मशीनें, सटीक कंट्रोल सिस्टम और इंजीनियरिंग का अनुभव, यहाँ हमारे प्रोडक्ट्स को विश्व के लिए तैयार किया जाता है। कंक्रीट टीएमटी एंड स्ट्रक्चर्स मजबूती का सिर्फ दावा नहीं करता, बल्कि मजबूती साबित करता है। जब तक स्टील हमारी कसौटी पर खरा ना उतरे, वो आगे नहीं बढ़ता। हमारे कंक्रीट टीएमटी ब्रांड की मोहर हमारी शुद्धता और आपके भरोसे की पहचान। कैंपस के अंदर मेडिकल सुविधा, ताकि हमारी टीम हर दिन सुरक्षित लौटे। नई सोच और जिम्मेदारी के साथ कंक्रीट टीएमटी एंड स्ट्रक्चर्स अपनी क्षमता और नेटवर्क को लगातार बढ़ाता है। इस साल हमारा लक्ष्य स्टील इंडस्ट्री में बेमिसाल क्वालिटी के साथ प्रोडक्शन के नए मुकाम हासिल करना है। कंक्रीट टीएनटी एंड स्ट्रक्चर्स, मजबूती ही हमारा विश्वास है।
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Sony ji, good morning. Yes.
Good morning, sir. So, shall we start, sir?
Yes, we can. So should I share my PPT?
Let me introduce once first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to all our esteemed delegates, speakers, industry leaders, and participants joining us from across the globe for another insightful session at the World Metal Mining Summit 2026. I am Amit Kumar Soni, co-founder of Steel Trade Info Services and an organizing member of WMMS 2026. So, it's my pleasure to be your host for this session. As the metal mining industry moves towards a more sustainable future, data has become one of the most powerful tools for reducing carbon emission, improving operational efficiency, and achieving ESG goals. This session will explore how organizations can leverage data and digital technologies to accelerate their decarbonization journey. So it's my privilege to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Anup Kashyap, an industrial decarbonization expert with his extensive experience in sustainability, industrial transformation, and carbon reduction strategies. Mr. Kashyap has been helping industries adopt practical data-driven solutions for a greener future. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Mr. Anup Kashyap. Anupji, the stage is yours. Thank you, and I wish
Yeah.
everyone an insightful and engaging session. Thank you.
Thank you, Soniji. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank World
Thank you.
Metal and Mining Summit team to organize this summit and bringing decarbonization issues in the main market issues. So today I will be discussing
Yes.
about steel industry. Steel is one of the most important industry right now in throughout the world. Whatever we see today, like green buildings, cars, as well as EVs, they are all made of steel. But on the other hand, when we produce steel, it emits lot of carbon. So today I'll discuss the roadmap, what are the opportunities, what are the challenges ahead for this sector. So I'll be sharing my presentation slides. Uh,
Yes.
is it visible? My slides are visible?
Yes, sir. Sizzle now, sir. Yes, sir.
So, like I have already said that steel is one of the most high emitting sectors across the world. So why decarbonization of steel matters? So you can see the figures here that last year the steel was one of the largest emitting sectors around the world. We emitted around 4.1 gigatons of carbon emissions, which contributed around 7 to 8% throughout the carbon emission throughout the sector. And all the things like EVs, turbines, green buildings, they are all made of steel. But steel, on the other hand, is producing lot of pollution. So why it is difficult to decarbonize steel? So the question is why it is difficult. So steel industry, the temperature is very high. When we produce steel, the temperature is around 1500 Celsius. So to combat that temperature, you need to replace fossil fuels. So that replacement is not a easy thing. You need to do a research, R&D, as well as you need very clean technologies to make it decarbonize. Also, it is a very capital intensive sector. So we require a lot of investment in this sector, and we need massive clean energy. So we need renewables, we need other than fossil fuel, we need hydrogen. So these are the areas where we can work together. So the next slide is when we compare India to the world. So right now, India is around 165 million ton of crude steel they are producing, and world is around 1886. But when you compare the emission intensity, India is very high, and the average intensity of the world is around 1.90. There are a lot of area where we can work together. Like you can see here, uh, the figures here shows that how coal-based DRI-EAF is intensity is around 2.8, whereas blast furnace is around 2.6. So here we can work on and we can reduce our emissions. There are the scrap availability in India is very less, as well as we are more dependent on blast furnace and BOF area. So we need to work on that area and we need to reduce it. So where the actually the emissions happen. So there we have divided ISO 14064, the standards which measures carbon emissions or GHG emissions. They have divided the area into three scopes. One is scope one, which is direct emission, which is within the organization. Second one is purchased emissions, which is the electricity which we buy from outside, and the scope three, which includes transportations, mining. These are the area where these scopes are divided. So when you see the maximum number of percentage of emissions are in scope one, which is when we make iron from iron ore. So here the maximum emission comes. And the reason is that we use coal here. The coal is the main actual material which causes emission right now in India. So there are a lot of solutions which will come in the next slides will come. So what are the challenges which India is facing right now? So India is already the second largest producer. Our steel demand is growing. We are around 159 million ton of 159 million ton of steel demand is there in India. Our steel demand is continuously growing. So is our production. So to combat that, we need to have a solution where we can have a low emission steel in the market. So the direction is around we need to achieve 2 tons of CO2 per ton of steel by 2035. And the green steel demand will increase to 4.5 million ton and to 24 million ton by 2035. These are the predictions by Ministry of Steel. So how you see the markets is shifting towards green steel demand. And ministry has already defined what green steel is. And we have a taxonomy now for green steel, as well as CCTS is also coming into picture. So by October, we'll have a CCTS where we can trade our carbon emissions. So there are three levers actually to cut the emissions. There is no single way we can adopt. We need to adopt some of the emissions like efficiency, like using of more scrap, and in the long run, we'll have a hydrogen in the picture. So some action needs to be started immediately, and together gradually we can move towards decarbonization. So one by one, we'll go to the levers. So the lever one is efficiency and gas-based GRI. So efficiency is the fastest way to achieve and the cheapest way to achieve right now the decarbonization. You can compare right now the blast furnace is around 2.66, and when you see gas-based GRI, it is around 1.66, which is 38% lower. So you can see how the market, how the process is different here. So we need to adopt the efficiency faster way so that we can lower our emissions, and we need to be competitive in the world market. The second lever, which I will say, is the scrap. I know the scrap is not available in India, but in the long run, scrap will be the most useful fuel or most useful raw material required for making steel. So when you see the scrap-based EAF area, you know that the emission gets lower by 73%. And when you compare it with blast furnace, it's 57, means half. It's related to half of the emissions. So you can see how the scrap and recycling and circular economic will contribute to the decarbonization. The third one will be the breakthrough technologies. It is a long run technologies which we will adopt in future. So these technologies that almost eliminate emissions and will be into the near zero. We cannot be net zero, but will be near zero by using these technologies. So these are the technologies like green hydrogen, iron ore electrolysis, as well as CCUS, which is coming into picture right now. So these are the areas where we can collaborate, we can work with ministry and get our work start into these breakthrough technologies. Now, the second thing is the hydrogen route. So in the long run, we are saying that hydrogen will replace coal. So this is actually what will happen right now. So right now we need around 50 to 60 kilotons per year green hydrogen is required for making steel. And when you see the renewable electricity, it's around 3 to 4 terawatt hour per year. So you know high amount of green hydrogen is required, as well as renewable energy requirement is also very high. So we need to work in this area. We need to work. These are the opportunities also. So like government has already introduced green hydrogen mission. They are also promoting solar and wind resources. But the barrier is the cost. Right now, the hydrogen cost is around $8. To bring it into the economic viability, we need around $2. Also, we need to make infrastructure as well as transportation for these material to transport from the producer to the makers. So we need these infrastructure to be needs to be built in this area. Now we come about the cost part. Right now, for making green steel, we need around 19,000 rupees, and the transition will require a huge amount of money. So it will be around 1.2 trillion, and the infrastructure will require 2.5 trillion. So you can see how much investment is required in this area. So right now, hydrogen is very expensive. We need to make it viable around $1 to $2. We need to build infrastructure. We need to bring more capex into these areas. So who is going to pay this? It will be either steel producer who will bear the cost, or government will provide any incentives, or the customer who wants green steel in future will have to pay this cost, or the market. So these are basically the four areas where we can they can contribute and come together so that the cost will be effective in future. So these are basically how green premium will work. Now we are dependent upon green electricity right now. So electricity will be required by for making green steel. And so that's why I'm saying here that electricity will be the new coal. Every low carbon steel making will require electricity. So we need to make that infrastructure in terms of renewable. We need to improve our grid capacity, even the battery storage. The solar power right now has doesn't have any storage facility. So we need to build that. There should be a constant supply of green hydrogen. We need to move towards more EAF furnaces, uh, capture carbon capture system. So the future is around electricity right now. So we need to invest in that infrastructure. So there's also one more challenges right now, like iron ore quality. Right now in India, we have around 40% of high grade iron ore, which is when we compare it to the global, which is higher than global level. But in the coming future, it is going to decline. So the solution should be based on beneficiation. We should beneficiate more low grade iron ore. We should prioritize more, and also the lower grade technology. The R&D needs to be done. So government needs to do this R&D. They should also give some incentives to the industry so that they can work on their research and development team, so that we can improve our iron ore quality. So next will be the main part. What is carbon pricing, which is coming right now? CBAM has already came in January 2026. We are still using PAT technology, which is we are trading our RAC into the market. But in October, government is bringing a carbon credit scheme. So for steel, they have already notified the draft notification for 255 entities. So right now, carbon is not only related to environment; it has become a financial impact for the industries. So all the industries have started measuring their emissions. They have started reporting it. For trading of carbon, they have started providing their verification data to all the government agencies. So you know how carbon is market is developing in India. EU ETS has already been developed, and carbon market is now developing in India. So we need to focus more on this area where we can also generate revenue for the industries. Next is the technological shift. Right now, we are dependent on blast furnace and BOF. Most of the steel producers are in India are using blast furnace for their operations for making steel. But in future, we should adopt DRI and electrical arc furnace, which is more carbon friendly. Also, the transition will need time, will take some time, but this technology will help to lower their emissions. And to become competitive in market, you need to reduce your emissions. This is the main agenda right now. So right now, each and every country have started imposing their trade barriers related to environment. EU has already came with CBAM. Now England is trying to make their CBAM policies. Likewise, Canada is also making. So to become competitive globally, you need to be uh, more emission reducing country. So likewise, so in India, India is around 2.5 right now, and to become competitive, you need to go below 1.9. So the next is how the can India afford this transition? So right now, the existing plant will need around 283 USD dollars, and the capex is around 251 billion dollars will be required, and the operational cost will be around 8.8 billion per year. So the funding needs to be provided by the government or by the global agencies like World Bank or GIZ. They need to provide this to make India more carbon reducing country. So we need to invest in the area of hydrogen, renewables, CCUS, and grids. So so decarbonization is not only a technology issue, it's also a financial issue right now for most of the company. The faster we adopt, the smaller the investment gap will be. So these are the key numbers. So India right now is around 2.55, and to achieve this, we need more financial support from the government, and we need to invest more on the technology. And by coming years in future, uh, hydrogen and CCUS will be the dominant area where India will be investing, and carbon market will come into picture, and we need to support this transition, and decarbonization will be a game changer in coming years. So this is all about my presentation. Thank you so much. Any question, I would be happy to answer.
Yes, sir. So we have two questions from our viewers.
Just a
Like
minute.
Mr. Sandeep Kumar is asking, like,
Yeah.
just a minute. So, sir, Mr. Sandeep Kumar was asking that from the data you've analyzed, like which decarbonization technology are witnessing the fastest adoption globally, and how do you see India comparing with these trends?
So when you compare India with the developed nation like Europe and US, they are adopting more EAF, electric arc furnace, and they are using more scrap. The problem with India is that we don't have scrap in that quantity, so we are not using it right now. So we are more dependent upon iron ore right now. But in coming 10 to 15 years, the scrap availability will increase in India, and we will adopt that technology in the next 15 to 20 years. So these are
Also,
the
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
please, continue.
yeah. I'm over. I'm over. Yes.
So also, I would like to add to this point, like Anoopji also mentioned, the scrap availability is a challenge now, and because India mostly used to import scrap as well from the other
Yes,
countries,
that's right.
but that will further will be the challenge because every country because of the
Is
decarbonization norm,
yeah,
their internal scrap consumption will increase. Secondly, one of the perfect example that we can quote, and I'm sure Anuj would please do correct me if
yeah, yeah,
if I
yeah,
get wrong.
yeah.
In the last couple of year, if you see that the total production of China has gone down. That is one of the reason, apart from several other reasons, one of the reason has been because China has been shifting uh, because of the policy restriction and all, they have been shifting, a lot of producers have shifted their production from BF to EF also. Again, major expansion has also taken place in China into the EF
When
segment.
you compare India with China, their construction sector has gone down in terms of steel demand. But in
Yes.
India, on the other hand, the construction sector has gone up,
Oh, no.
and it will go up in the coming
Correct,
days.
correct. But
So
do you
yeah,
also see that China, most of the new expansion that are coming up in China and steel, they are EA-based furnaces.
Yeah,
Whereas
they
in
are
India, still the major expansion, which are coming up, they're still predominantly by the BAF only. So how will that solve the problem? Because you have, I understand, is a long-term investment. Uh,
So, BF will be in the picture right now because most of the steel industry, they have already invested in blast furnaces, and the life line of blast furnace is around 20 to 40 years. So what they will do, they will improve their operations. They will move towards more their renewable energy. They will improve their energy efficiency. By doing that, they can reduce their emissions significantly. When you compare it with China, China, on the other hand, has already produced steel. They are not producing for themselves. They are producing for the world. But on the other hand, India is producing steel for ourselves because the demand is very high. So in China, the steel production is going high. The main reason is that they are mainly focused on their exporting. So also the various trade measures has been taken up with from China. In the coming years, you'll see that steel production will go down. But on the other hand, for India, it will go up.
Correct, correct. In fact, the trend has shown China has this year it has been a 7-year low production has taken place in China, just around 906 million ton.
Yeah.
So that is certainly showing up. Okay.
Which part of the steel? I'm reading the question. Which part of the steel making process currently offers greatest opportunity for carbon reduction with the lowest investment? See,
Yes, sir. Actually,
when
that's also my question, also, sir.
yes, yes. So right now, when you focus on your raw material quality, if you have high grade of iron ore, like 64%, and you have low ash coking coal, by improving that, you can significantly reduce your carbon emission without giving anything to the blast furnace. By improving your raw material quality, only you can improve your efficiency. There are a lot of other areas where you can work, like pulverized coal injection. They can reduce your coke rate. This is one of the area. Second, there you can improve the best available technology you can use in your industry, like top recovery turbine, waste gas heat recovery. So from doing that, you can significantly improve your emission by utilizing your waste. That can be also contributing to your emissions. So these are the low hanging fruits which we need to focus on right now without doing any investment. And most of the companies, like most of the integrated plants, they are doing it. So the most
So the
important
last question
KPIs.
is, what are the most important KPIs that still pursue? Yes,
So first of all, most
like
important
that
thing
still
right
producers
now,
should monitor to measure the success. Yes.
yeah. So the most important thing right now is most of the steel companies. I'm talking about the smaller ones. They are not measuring their emissions, and measurement is the most important part right now. You cannot reduce what you cannot measure. So by doing measurement, by reporting it, and by doing verification, MRV is the most important thing right now because CBAM is has came into picture. Also CCTS, which is coming up in October. So most of the companies, they don't know what their emissions is. They have only they have only the Bureau of Energy Efficiency has only measured for 255 obligated entities. But when you see the picture, the number is around 2000. So you know the rest of them have not been measured right now. So this is the most important thing right now, to measure your emissions, to report it, and to verify it. So the most important one is RV right now for me. Any other thing? Yes.
So the next one is the current, any current policy incentives by government to upgrade green hydrogen in Indian steel industry.
So government has already started the green hydrogen policy where sectors have been divided. Steel industry is around 5 metric ton they are producing. For that, 1 to 2 million will be provided to steel industry. So, but government are into discussion on this, that how much green hydrogen will be required, because still most of the players are producing through coal, and they have not started significantly using hydrogen into their system. So the R&D needs to be done by the industry, like how hydrogen will perform. Right now, it's only theory that will put hydrogen in place of carbon, and you will replace coal. But still need to do R&D on green hydrogen, as well as how it will behave in coming time. Yes. Any other thing?
Siddharth, do you want to ask something?
Yeah, I personally have
Yeah.
one question from you. That presentation was really good. I mean, it has a lot
Yeah.
of data, a lot of useful data and information which one can use. But just
Mhm.
wanted to understand, if we talk about our vision of 300 million tons of production by 2030, and considering that, everyone has been saying that the margin are shrinking quite a bit in the steel production.
Mm.
Practically speaking, do you really see and like you also mentioned that India is predominantly a domestic, predominantly it is consumed domestically itself, apart from
Yeah.
that flat steel, which is exported at a bigger quantity. But do
Yeah.
you really see, for a steel mill, shifting their production route, or from coal to other, because like you also mentioned, the cost of electricity is also not very cheap in most of the places in India, and it is fragmented into, somewhere it is high, somewhere it is low, state wise, it differs also. Do you
Yeah.
practically see it is the shift taking place by 2030?
Uh, yes, I see the shift. Right now, we are BF dominated, yes, but companies have started investing on these technologies. Like when I talk about JSW, Tata Steel, the big players, they have already adopting these technologies. And if you are not going to do this, then you will be not competitive in the market. Like European Union has already imposed, carbon market is already into the picture. So to become competitive, you need to reduce. It is not you are. It's tough to do it, but it's necessary now. So I think that in coming future by 2030, you will see lot of changes in the steel market in terms of emissions, because they need to be competitive. And now carbon is like a price.
Price. Correct, correct.
So you need to invest on that. And you need to get back the ROI. So for the coming future, I think that you need to invest on these technologies, and the future will be based on the investment on the technology shift.
And like one of the very important point that you mentioned in your presentation is the availability of scrap has to increase
Yes.
domestically.
Yes.
I agree to your point that India has a lot of potential to generate scrap domestically, just that policy has also been placed by the government, just that the
Yes.
execution has to be
Yes.
they have to be implemented on ground. And once that happens, I think we may also be looking at exporting some scrap in a long run, not necessarily in the next 10 or 15 years, but maybe in the long run,
Yes.
considering the kind
So,
of
by 2047, we have made that we'll be having a capacity of 500 million tons, and we will produce around 420 million tons, 420 to 422 million tons. So for that, when we are producing so much huge amount of steel, and raw material will be iron ore will be very less. So we'll be dependent on scrap. So I
yeah,
don't think exporting will be a main thing. We will use for our domestic use, and uh, scrap will be in picture by 2035. Yes.
2035. Correct.
Yes.
I agree to your point. Just an implementation needs to improve of the
Yeah.
policy, but I'm sure that will come into the market as well.
The main challenge is that the scrap industry is very unorganized. We don't have we don't have an organized
True, sir.
sector here.
That's true.
And the
So
credibility also
yeah,
is
credibility is
important.
also, the quality of scrap is also very not so good in India. But most of the steel players like Tata Steel, they have developed a scrap industry in Punjab,
Punjab.
and they are working on it. So maybe you will see by 2028, 29, they will be producing more through scrap route compared to iron ore. So
And yes.
yes,
So, recently, not recently, I would say a year and a half ago, I had an opportunity to attend a power summit that took place in Nepal. And
mhm.
Nepal, predominantly, as we understand, is quite a rich source of thermal power production.
Okay,
And surprisingly, I saw a lot of, steel players from India attending that summit over there. And a couple of big deals have also been taken place. I think Vedanta has committed to, import a huge amount of power from the thermal sources. So it is good. It is true that you're saying most of these bigger players are working on it. They are trying to explore different sources through which they can reduce their carbon emission.
yes,
And the and like you said, if you have to be in the market, you have to be competitive. Otherwise,
yes.
you'll we are bound to face a tough competition from China, which has already shifted
China as well as Korea is working in this
Korea. Correct,
direction extensively. They
correct.
are making their technology so high that now they have came from 2.2 to around 1.8, so which is a massive achievement for them.
That's also
And
correct.
they are using the same route which we are using, blast furnace and iron ore, and making through coke. By using only their raw material quality as well as energy efficiency technology, they have reduced so much. So why can't we do it?
Why can't we do it?
Yes,
I think just to summarize what you have said, I think one of the most important thing that came out is that efficiency in production and efficiency and the quality of the material you needs to improve first, and then the technological shift and everything else. It has to be a combination of everything, but the
yes,
primary focus could be on something that is still in their hand by improving the quality of the raw material and the efficiency. I think a lot can be done through achieved through
also
that also.
also right now most of them have started working on RE direction, renewable energy. They
Hmm.
have started using they have started generating electricity through renewable energy. So these areas also needs to be looked upon, because energy will be required, electricity will be required in coming times. So for that you need to invest in in those technologies also.
True, true. I
Yeah,
agree. Thank you. I mean, that is from my side. Amit, if you have any query, please.
I have one question.
Yeah,
uh,
one other question
will
has come.
sourcing renewable energy play any significant role in reducing carbon footprint? Yes, it will. It will. You can REC is actually based on the energy, how efficient you are. So you can trade that REC into Power Exchange of India, and from that you can generate the credit, and that credit will be helpful to reduce your carbon footprint. You can show it in your sustainability report that I have generated so much REC, and I can claim my carbon footprint based on that. So you can do this, and government has also started working on this. So most of the companies are already doing this reduction of carbon footprint.
Thanks for answering all the question, Anuj. Your
Yeah,
presentation was also insightful. Just in case if I just wanted to understand if some of our delegate asks
yeah,
for that
yeah.
presentation,
I'm
will
there.
it
I'm
be
there.
it will be shareable?
Yeah, yeah. I'll already share. I've
Okay,
already
great.
shared, and I'll already share with others.
Great. So in case anyone is looking for it, we would be more than happy with his permission to share the presentation as well. Uh, I must appreciate, you put in a lot of data into that PPTs, because we have been hearing a lot about decarbonization and all.
Yeah,
But I've been watching a lot of your posts also on LinkedIn before approaching you, and
yeah.
I've seen, because it is important that data should also come out. Just by talking about decarbonization, maybe it
Yes,
gives a broader picture, but
yes.
you get to understand the micro level picture when you actually see data in front of you. So
And
thank.
these figures can go up because these figures are only for the large players like
Hmm,
integrated steel plants. But when you go deep into the small players, the data can change significantly, because
correct.
most of them don't measure it. So that's the main problem. So you cannot get the data from the smaller players. That's the
I that's the main problem.
main
Correct.
issue right now.
Yes.
But I think in the coming times they have to measure it, they have to report it, and we'll see a lot of data in coming years on these
Yes,
areas.
correct. And
Yeah,
just a word of appreciation from Mr. Vignesh ji, one of our guests. He says that
yeah.
kindly share the presentation. It was very insightful, and I do agree to that. It was quite an insightful presentation.
Thank you,
And
sir.
thanks a lot for working out so much of micro level data and compiling the entire presentation. It
Thank
was
you so
truly
much.
insightful, and we would love to host you again sometime in the future.
Pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's my honor to share the stage with such a dedicated speakers.
Thank you, Anuji. Just for our attendees and participants, just wanted to update you once again. We have shared a pre-read material that IIM Sirmor team has suggested every one of us to read before attending the workshop, which will start at 3 p.m. today. And just again would like to reiterate that the certificate as per their norms and protocol will be only given to the ones who attend the workshop completely for 2 days from 3 to 5. So request you all to just go through the pre-read material and join us back on at 3 p.m. Till then, you all can do a networking. You all can do connect with each other and have an interaction with each other. You can also visit the virtual stall which we have set up. There are 5 or 6 stalls which are over there. You can visit and connect with them for any query that you might have. Over to you, Amit ji.
Yes, sir. So thank you, Anuj sir, for an
Yeah, thank you
insightful
so
and
much.
data-driven presentation. So
Thank
the
you so
today's
much.
session highlighted that successful decarbonization is no longer driven by ambition alone. It must be it must be backed by measurable data, sound economics, and information decision making. We gained valuable insight into the cost of carbon reduction technology, adoption trends, production efficiencies, and future market outlooks. These practical perspectives will certainly help industry leaders make smarter and more sustainable business decisions. And on behalf of entire WMS 226 team, I sincerely thank Mr. Kashyap for sharing this expertise and all our
Thank
delegates
you
for
so
their
much.
active participation. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'll be
Thank you.
sharing the presentation with you all. And thank you once again for
Yes, sir. Sure.
making me one of the speakers. I really appreciate, and thank
Pleasure is
you,
ours, sir.
team.
Pleasure is ours. Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much. So should I log
Thank you,
out?
sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. We are just finishing off
Yes.
this
Yes,
session.
sir.
Sure. Thank you so much
Thank
once
you so
again.
much, sir.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.